I'm Wen Robbins. I'm a family life educator, a life coach, transformational speaker, and the author of Girl Talk, Leaving the Past Behind You. Today I want to talk to you about forgiveness. One of the things that everyone wants is peace of mind. And one of the things that prevents us from experiencing peace of mind is lack of forgiveness. In my book, I dedicated the entire first chapter to forgiveness because it's so important to forgive others. So many of us are harboring guilt and anger and bitter feelings and bitterness towards people, and we're not realizing that it's only hurting ourselves. These people have gone on with life. They have forgotten what they've done to you in most cases, and they're enjoying life. But we're still holding on and harboring these bitter feelings. It's basically what we're doing is feeding the feelings. And you know that anything you feed grows. You nurture something and it grows. So why would you want to nurture bitterness, unforgiveness, anger, and hurt? Whether the person or people who have hurt you are passed away or if they're still living, make a decision to forgive. That's the best decision that you can make to free your mind of all the hurt that you're harboring. Let's say, for instance, it's your parents who've done something to you when you were a child, or maybe they've even offended you as an adult. Choose to forgive. I mean, what sense does it make and what good does it do anyone to hold on to these feelings, to hold on to the bitterness, to hold on to the unforgiveness? You have no idea the impact that you making a decision to forgive can make on the relationship between you and your parents in this example. I mean, you can end up having the relationship with your parents that you've always desired, just from one simple decision to forgive. And if the person you need to forgive is an ex-spouse, go for it. I'm rooting for you. You might not feel like you can forgive an ex-spouse, but trust me, you can. It makes no sense if you're holding bitterness and anger towards an ex-spouse, because if they're your ex, apparently they've moved on and you should too. But what I'm going to say to you is, it's not going to be easy and you might have to ask for some help. And I'll share a little personal story with you. I mean, seems like for some reason God is always putting me on blast. Anyway, so in my situation with my ex-husband, I was holding on to bitterness for the longest time. And one day I just said to God, you know what, God, you're going to have to help me do this or this is not going to be done. In my own strength, I couldn't forgive him. But once God stepped in and transformed my thinking and renewed my heart, to this day, we have a great relationship. And I can't tell you the burden it has lifted off my heart and off my daughter. Because honestly, children watch the relationship between their parents when they're not together. And if you think for one reason that your children don't know that there's tension going on between you and your ex, you're only fooling yourself. They know, so the best thing for you to do is try to have a great relationship with them, even if not for yourself, for the sake of your children. And remember, we choose the people who we have in our lives and the relationships that we get involved in. So always remember to take responsibility for your part of the failed relationship. Bottom line, choose to forgive the other person completely and release them out of your life. One of the things that I did at a women's conference one time when I was speaking that was really impactful, I had the women write a forgiveness letter. So the letter started off with, "Dear so-and-so." And that person that they were addressing the letter to was the person that had hurt them the most. And so the body of the letter started with, "I forgive you for." And then after that, they listed all of the things that the person did to hurt them. Some of these things were from their childhood, some were from adulthood, but they listed every single thing that the person did that hurt them deeply. And this was a very emotional part of the women's conference, and it was really impactful. So after they listed everything, "I forgive you for when you did this, when you said this, when this happened, that happened." And at the end of the letter, the last line said, "I love you and I pray that God blesses you." And they had to sign their name to it. And one of the things that I said I would do moving forward, what I do now with the conference, because at that conference I had the women write the letter, fold it up, tear it up, and put it in the garbage. Because in my mind at the time I was thinking, you know what? They got rid of it, they put it in the trash, and they're never going to think about it again. But one of the things that's even more impactful for some women is to actually mail the letter. And it doesn't have to be a woman. It's just that I speak at women's conferences, so I'm always referencing women, but it can be a man that does this. Just write this letter, just address this letter to the person that hurt you, tell them that you forgive them for everything, but list everything that they did to hurt you and end it with forgiveness and end it with love, and you pray that God blesses them. Seal it and mail it to them. Now, doesn't matter how they respond to you, so don't worry about whether there's a negative response, because everyone's not going to receive that letter. Everyone is not seeking your forgiveness. This is about you. So you write that letter, you seal it, you mail it, and be done with it. And the last person I want you to forgive is yourself. Remember, you hold the keys that unlock those chains that bind you. So stop holding on to things that you've done in your past. Stop beating yourself up about the things that you've done in your past. We've all done things that we're not proud of. But it's time for you to let go, and it's time for you to forgive yourself. It's okay. We all make mistakes. So if there's somebody that you need to apologize to, go and apologize to them. If it's something that you've done to yourself, by yourself, with someone else, it's time for you to release it and let it go. It's time for you to start speaking words of affirmation to yourself, positive words of affirmation to yourself, so that you feel good about yourself. Think about it. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And the great news is, when you look ahead, the slate ahead is completely clean. So enjoy your life and start with today. That's it for my first video. If you liked it, leave a comment below and share it with a friend. Also, stay in touch with me on social media. And if you'd like to book me for a speaking engagement, go to my website at wenrobbins.com.